Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the press conference. We'll first hear from the Chief Executive. Good morning, everyone. The Kai Tak Sports Park is the largest sports infrastructure of the history of Hong Kong. It provides a facility for sports, entertainment, leisure, and mega event. It will be a major drive. I attach importance to the construction and preparation for commissioning as well as future operation of the park. There was a cross-departmental working group led by the Chief Secretary. It is in charge of coordinating all the preparation of the sports park to ensure that it will reach the highest standard. Sunday past, there was the first trial match at Kai Tak Youth Sports Ground, attracting 1,500 spectators and about 300 staff members, to ensure that the drill will provide us with experience and a chance to identify inadequacies. We have set up a drill team. The head of the drill team is an assistant commissioner of the police. It is in charge of overseeing the cooperation and response of various departments and parties, as well as preparing for contingency plans. The purpose of the drill on Sunday is to ensure that all the different parts of the operation, including exit, entrance of the crowd, as well as crowd management, signage, announcements, security checks, flow of information, operation, the grounds during the match. The Kai Tak Sports Park Corporation and the MTRCL have been communicating in relation to transportation. We are collecting views and feedback from the spectators using a QR code. We will take stock of the views received and make improvements. The government will continue with the drills and tests. There are facilities at the park that is still undergoing construction. The tests will be expanded to other facilities. Before the full commissioning of the park, we will organize various tests and drills at the 3 major areas as well as other areas. This time the drill took place at the Youth Sports Ground. There will be a second drill shortly. In relation to the Indoor Sports Ground, there will be the first test and drill in December. In relation to the main stadium, a drill will take place in January next year. The magnitude of the drill will be upscaled. There will be a drill for the 50,000 spectators to make preparations. We've asked the MTRCL to increase the frequency of trains to test the effectiveness of the transportation system. We will also increase the capacity of buses and coaches when the crowd leaves. We'll also test at the Song Wong Toi station and the various preparatory plans to take people out and in of the sports ground. The Sports Ground Corporation and operators of various sectors and facilities are asked to adopt the bottom line thinking and to be extremely alert. They are also required to put in place contingency plans to cater for emergencies. The CS will continue to make preparations for the drills and tests. We'll also continue with publicity and public education to ensure that everyone involved in it will be familiar with the various drills and tests. On the 4th of November, I will go to Shanghai to attend the first National Import Expo that will take place on the 5th of November. I will also attend the Shanghai session of the Hong Kong investment session. With me, there will be the FS, the SCED, as well as the head of the Trade Development Council. The Import Expo, the Trade Expo, will attract representatives coming from 190 areas. There will be about 3,600 exhibitors. The TDC will set up 2 booths. It has an area of 1,500 square meters, involving about 150 operators covering food, INT, professional services, logistics, information technology, trade, as well as financial services. We have over 300 exhibitors. This accounts for about 1/10 of the total number of exhibitors at the expo. It covers many different areas: food, agriculture, automobiles, consumables, healthcare products, trade, services, incubation, innovation, and technology. The expo will showcase Hong Kong's strength. We will also set up a Hong Kong area to showcase our advantages. Last month, there was at Beijing a Hong Kong investment seminar. We want to make use of the expo at Shanghai to organize a dedicated session for Hong Kong. We will make use of the theme under connectivity. We will gather heavyweight speakers to share with the participants the opportunities of Hong Kong. We will cover areas of INT and financial services. We'll talk about the advantages of Hong Kong and the opportunities of complementary development. There will also be thematic matching sessions for representatives from INT and engineering to find business opportunities. There will also be a signing ceremony of agreements of a number of areas. The Shanghai Expo is a milestone event of our country. It is also an important channel to find business opportunities. We will participate in the various activities and events to find more investment and market opportunities for Hong Kong. The U.S. government just announced limitations in relation to trading of semiconductors, quantum information technology. Once again, it shows that the U.S. politicians, for their own benefits, impose restrictions on free trade. This will undermine the global supply chain. It will also harm the interest of the business sectors of the U.S. In the past decade, the U.S. has made a total of $472 billion in profit. Their action will harm their own national benefit as well as the well-being of their people. In order to protect the interests of Hong Kong national interest and enterprises, we will react appropriately. Please don't ask more than 2 questions when you are identified.
The lady on the left. Good morning, I'm from Now TV. There was a sexual assault case at Hongqi Association. The operator hasn't told the public about the details yet. Would you make the report public? Are there any other victims involved in the case? Some LegCo members suggested setting up an independent review committee with members from the social welfare sector to review the CCTV footage. Would you consider that? You mentioned about the first trial match at the Kai Tak Sports Ground. After the first test run, have you identified any areas for improvement, including crowd control measures? The main stadium will start its first trial in January next year. Would that be too late? the test run will involve some 50,000 spectators. Will the drill be different? Regarding the Hanchi Association incident, which involves a staff member sexually assaulting 2 residents in the care homes, this is a sexual assault case. There are a few points that deserve our attention. First of all, the police have to carry out comprehensive investigation to hold the person accountable. Also, the Social Welfare Department has to ensure that these residential care homes have to operate in accordance with the terms and conditions. They also have to comply with the code of practice. We have to ensure that there is effective management and supervision in relation to the behavior of the staff members. The Hanchi Association has set up an independent review committee to review the incident. I hope that in the course of the review, the Hanchi Association will look at its operation, including its services as well as its care for its residents, to ensure that there is an effective management mechanism. It also has to ensure that there is a comprehensive system concerning the training of its staff. The association has to put the interests of its residents at its first priority. The association has the responsibility to ensure that it provides care for residents who require special needs and care. The Independent Review Committee has to finish the report as early as possible to rectify its mistakes and also recommend any enhancement measures. I ask them to provide a report as soon as possible. The Social Welfare Department will have to comprehensively review the report to ensure that the residential care homes comply with the code of practice, and the department will have to ensure that the association plays its role and responsibility. The SWD will review the care home's license once a year instead of once every 3 years. CCTV footage is crucial in terms of evidence. CCTV footage can be a very important piece of evidence. There has to be a system in place to ensure that the CCTV can be a tool that plays a deterrent effect. The review committee as well as the senior management of the Hanchi Association should comprehensively review how it can make good use of the CCTV system as a monitoring tool to ensure that it creates a deterrent effect. We have to prevent any unlawful and despicable acts. We have to ensure effective management to ensure these incidents will not happen. If such incidents take place, we have to ensure that we handle them swiftly. In relation to the test run for the Kai Tak Sports Park, I mentioned that there was a small-scale test run on Sunday, and we will gradually expand the scale of our drills, which will eventually involve 50,000 spectators. We are going to have a timetable for that, and as we set our timetable, we have to take into consideration the construction works progress of the Kai Tak Sports Ground to see if we can actually implement these drills. I want to emphasize one point. It is important that we hold test runs and trial matches in the sports park, but more importantly, we have to ensure good crowd management measures as spectators enter and leave the sports park. We will continue to improve our measures. We want to, through each test run, identify any areas for improvement. The purpose of these test runs is to allow all participants to be familiar with the process. The test runs are crucial, but more importantly, we have to ensure effective management. We have to ensure there is sufficient software, including whether there are enough instruction signage and whether we have any backup plans. We will experience a number of test runs, and after these test runs, we want to ensure that we can disperse a crowd of 50,000 spectators in an orderly manner. As I mentioned, there won't be just one test run, and we will, through these test runs, identify areas for improvement. And during these test runs, we will see where we can improve on. The scale of the past test run is not significant, but it will serve as a basis on which we will find out what we need to do in the future test runs. We will, through our surveys and questionnaires sent out through the QR code, collect feedback from the spectators that took part in the test run. Thank you.
The gentleman in the second row on the left. Good morning, I'm from Cable News. Mr. C.Y. Leung expressed concerns about an oversupply of land in Hong Kong. He said that continue to make land will create a negative equity problem and will add to the burden of the government's finance. Do you think this is a correct point of view? Some legislators said that the retail sector is in a nice age. They ask for waiver of rates for the coming 2 years. The bad debt rate of 100% finance guarantee team may be as high as 25%. That means the guarantee amount may be over $30 billion. What is your view? Experience tells us that inadequate land supply, inadequate housing supply will create difficulties for people to get housed. Creating land will take years easily. At the beginning of 2000, there was a pause on land creation. As a result, it has created issues. So the government should be more active when it comes to land supply. The government's stance is that to enable healthy development of our market, the government should take the lead. Otherwise, land supply decisions will be made in the hands of people who have vested interest, and this is not desirable. We need to make sure that the overall interest of Hong Kong, the well-being of Hong Kong are well taken care of. It is on this basis that we formulate policies to ensure healthy development of land supply. Housing supply and land supply are two different matters. The government will try to find additional sources of income. Surplus can be put in the bank It doesn't have to be spent. That is the same for land creation. We continue to create land. If necessary, we make available the land created for housing supply. At the same time, if necessary, we can put the land created in our land reserve. The housing supply will take into demand. We take into account housing demand from the public and from developers before we make a decision. Our decisions are based on evidence and data. The government will be cautious. I believe that past governments and the current government cautiously take into account data and the actual situation. In 2021, the government announced the 2030 Plus, which is a long-term vision and strategy for Hong Kong. Analyses have been conducted to look into the development needs, demand and supply before the plan is formulated. A number of analyses have been conducted under this study. Well, if you read the policy address, you'll find that in paragraph 175 that the government is committed to create land, will take into account the actual situation and take forward our initiatives in an orderly manner. We'll take into account changes in the market to ensure a stable and healthy development of the market when we sell land. We are very cautious when we make available land for housing. We will take into account demand, supply, to ensure that there is a healthy and stable development in our housing market. The retail sector is going through economic transformation. They face a number of challenges. That's why in the policy address, 8 measures have been announced to help SMEs. In this time of economic transformation, different sectors face different difficulties. Overall speaking, we have 2.5 to 3.5 GDP growth. We'll try to help the sectors to overcome the difficulties they encounter. Some trades have made adjustments. I read from the press that they are making more as a result. I'm sure that practitioners in the retail trade know fully that during the economic transformation there will be changes in consumption patterns. They will strive to make changes. That is also a message I try to send out in my policy address. There is a need for reform. We need to work together to reform and change, as well as to develop. We have launched a number of measures to help with the cash flow of SMEs and the retail sector. There is a need for the government to provide assistance to the retail sector. We'll help the SMEs to overcome challenges during the transformation. With the reduction in interest rates and a number of boosting measures, I believe that the general situation will improve. The lady in the second row.
Questions from TMHK. So first, because some dinosaur fossils had been discovered in Hong Kong for the first time, So what's the government's plan, if any, to develop Port Island into a tourism sport, and any targets to make use of the dinosaur fossils to attract tourists? And the second question about the Kai Tak Sports Park, is there a need to stage more and bigger drills at the sports park after Sunday's exercise, and how many drills should be held at the main stadium where large-scale events are mainly held involving 50,000 spectators? Thank you.
The dinosaur fossil is the first discovery in Hong Kong. We are all very excited. On Port Island, of course, work is now proceeding to ensure that we will do the best discovery as possible, and also ensure that we'll maintain the fossils so that it will not only help research, but will also help developing Hong Kong as a place for us to learn more about the history of dinosaur, and also grasping this opportunity to develop into maybe a tourist attraction. So rightfully, we will be considering how to develop this into a good attraction. Well, first of all, we will be making use of the courtyard of the Hong Kong Heritage Discovery Center in Tsim Sha Tsui to build a workshop and exhibition area for people to see the work of the experts, and also to see the fossils being prepared. We also plan for long-term display so that we can all learn more about paleontology. In fact, what is encouraging is the discovery on Port Island is in the area of our geopark. And you know that under the UNESCO geopark, we actually have a very famous and spectacular sport, which is the volcanic hexagonic rock columns. And that is, I think, one of the strongest attractions for people who are interested in natural resources, natural heritage, and also enjoying the nature. So indeed, we will be making use of this opportunity to develop some special tourist lines so that they can look at, first of all, the volcanic hexagonic rock columns, as well as all the other attractions of our geopark, and including some exhibitions of the dinosaur fossils. The tourism board, and I think those who work in the tourist industry, will be working hard to develop this new attraction lines of visiting. As regards the drills for the Kai Tak Sports Park, to prepare it for the grand opening and all the subsequent events, it is very important we do all the drills necessary. It has to be progressive so that it will train up, first of all, departmental staffs, those who work in the Kai Tak Sports Park Limited, and those who are involved, especially those in the transport industry. The challenge, of course, is the dispersal of crowd after an event which will comprise 50,000 spectators. That is a challenge we must take up boldly. And that is also why I have been demanding different levels of drills so as to test different elements of operational procedures, different areas of risks, and also to learn about the experiences of those who may eventually become the final spectators of the 50,000 audience. We will progress in such a way that we'll develop the system to ensure that it will operate smoothly, and then we will progress to test the transport system, and then we'll progress to test all the three sports grounds, which include, first of all, the youth sports ground, then the indoor sports center, and eventually the main stadium. The progression will let us refine our plan through the experiences we gain in each step. I do want the drills to progress fast, but it is also important for reviews and improvement measures to be designed so that we can put them in. And I will envisage there will be at least 20+ drills. And depending on the experiences we will gain through the drills, then we will design whether more will be necessary. And that is why I have set up this task force led by the Chief Secretary, who will oversee the coordination and cooperation of all the government departments, the Hong Kong Sports Park Limited, transportation operators, and ensuring that we have all the contingency plans worked out, including emergency or extreme weather condition, and to ensure that we have bottom-line thinking and increase our safety margin. And I'm sure through all these different drills, people get familiar with the whole running of the system. And I'm thrilled to learn that those who participated in the Sunday drill, they were all very committed, and they all gave a strong impression that they want to do a good job for Hong Kong, for the opening and the subsequent running of Hong Kong Kai-Tak Sports Centre. Thank you very much.
好，今日會見傳媒時間喺度，多謝各位。
That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.